Hey guys, it's your girl. I'm back with another video. I know it's been a long time since my last video, but your girl's been busy. Okay, new job, new house, new place. So I haven't had really much time to, make another video, but I'm back because I feel like this video is important. And as this cycle is coming, towards near the end, I wanted to get this video out quick while there's still enough time for people to do what I'm about to say. So for starters, this video is more so for people who are kind of on the lower stat ends. So maybe your GPA is like a little low, not too low, but like a little on the low side or possibly low. And your MCAT is on the lower side, maybe not too low, but a little low. And it could also be too low as well. Just because more than likely you need an academic enhancer to really push your application forward and really allow the admissions committee to be like, okay, we're sure that this student can handle the rigor of medical school. Let's invite her for an interview. Now, I say this because those of you who have higher stats, more than likely that's not your issue. With your stats alone, you have proven that you can handle the rigor of medical school. So they're not worried about your stats. If you haven't heard anything back at all, or if you've actually gotten rejections, in my personal opinion, and based off my opinion of my mentors and people who are in the medical field right now, it has something to do with your application. For example, your personal statement, maybe the way you described your experiences, and probably most importantly, your answers to your secondary questions. Because you need to remember, all these questions aren't, of course they're a way to get to know you, but a lot of the times this is the way for them to feel how genuine you are and how genuinely you actually want to be a physician and why you want to do medicine, how you would make a good physician, what you plan to do as a physician for your community or in general for the medicinal world, things like that. So if you don't prove to them that your intent for medicine is genuine, they're probably not going to invite you for an interview. And if I had to guess, that's most likely why you haven't heard anything back or why you've gotten a rejection, because like I said, you've already shown that you're smart, you can handle the rigor of school. Now you need to show them why you should actually even be getting an interview or going to this school in the first place, or why you should even be practicing as a physician at all. So again, this video isn't for, people like that. Like, you should just, in my opinion, find a mentor, find a professional that you trust and you trust their experience. Have them look over your application, look over your personal statement, your secondary answers, the way you described your experiences and activities, and have them edit it for you or give you comments on what they think you could do better or why they think it might be lacking, and go from there. Because a lot of times it could just be that, and more than likely you may find next rounds that you're getting interviews and acceptances because, there's no need to retake the MCAT. You got 510 plus. There's no need to, take courses again if your GPA is a 3.5 plus, that doesn't make any sense. And so again, I'm pretty sure it has to do with, more detailed parts of your application, like your explanations. So now that that's done, this is for my peoples with lower stats. So it doesn't have to be super low, but maybe not high enough for certain schools that you're applying to, or maybe schools that are too confident in, reaching out to you for an interview or an acceptance because they're not sure that you can handle the rigor, or they're unsure that you can maybe pass boards when that time comes. So these tips are for people who we want to make sure that these schools feel that confidence when they're looking at your application next time around. They're like, okay, yes, this girl, this man can handle the rigor, can pass their boards. I like everything else about their application. Let's go ahead and invite them for an interview. Let's go ahead and give them acceptance. So during this time being, while the cycle is still, hot and coming to an end a little bit, you need to be applying to master's programs and post-baccalaureate programs. So for master's programs, I've been applying to master's in biomedical sciences. So again, I mentioned that I had mentors and people I know in the, professional world. And they've all told me that a master's in biomedical science is probably the best master's that you should be trying to obtain if you're trying to go to medical school and just trying to enhance your record. Just because that particular program aligns more with the medical program, like in medical school, and the classes kind of, you know, mimic the rigor of a medical school class, and also the curriculum or the content that you'll actually be learning is close to what you'll be learning a bit probably in your M1 year. So for those of you who want to go the master's route, like you actually want to obtain something that like makes a difference in like your, you know, repertoire or something, go for a master's in biomedical science. And I personally wouldn't recommend anything that's more than 2 years. I don't think you need 2 long years to prove that you can, you know, do well in a graduate level course. 1 year is enough. And there's not that many 2-year ones, but I have seen a few 2-year ones. I personally think that's unnecessary. If you don't mind taking that time off and you really want to spend time focusing on improving your academia, maybe even picking up critical skill thinking, problem thinking skills, maybe even retaking the MCAT, taking more time to study, by all means, go ahead. But for someone who doesn't think they really need that much time, and I personally don't think most of us need that much time off, go ahead and do a 1 year. That's enough to, you know, really go in, do well, ace these classes, get straight A's or get close to straight A's, and show these admission committee personnel that you can handle the rigor of graduate program. If you're not pressed for a master's program, but you still want to enhance your academic record, like maybe it's not that bad, so you just need something a little bit to give you a little kick, go for a post-baccalaureate program. And even besides that, there are a lot of post-baccalaureate programs that have linkage or bridge programs. So you do that program for a year, and if you pass their criteria, you get automatic acceptance into their medical program, or you get preference into the medical program, or preference for an interview, or even just a guaranteed interview. There's quite a few schools that do that. I definitely recommend, after you watch this video, to start looking up schools that do that. For example, I can list Ohio State does that. Drexel does that. Georgetown has a program similar to that. I think George Washington as well. Toro for DO, VCON for DO. So there are quite a few schools that have linkage programs, bridge programs, or anything like that in terms of a post-baccalaureate that can help push you to get into their specific medical school. And some of them have linkage programs with other medical schools as well. And I personally think that's maybe a little bit better than master's program, because at least because for some of them can guarantee you an acceptance or guarantee you an interview, a foot in the door, which is a lot better than, hey, I just got another credential, which isn't bad. It's awesome to have another credential, but this kind of catapults you a lot further. And also, for some of them, you get to take actual first-year medical school classes, so it also puts you ahead of your counterparts for your M1 year. So, having said that, all this is to say, you know, after you watch this video, start looking at programs that still have applications that are open, and go ahead and apply. You can get in now and get an acceptance, and that way by come this fall or this summer, you're in that program and you're getting ready to reapply for the next cycle that opens up in May. So by the time that's over and you finished your program, you have already proven, you've already had that new academic record with the new grades and stuff. And if you take the MCAT, go ahead and have a new MCAT score. That way you are still in it for this next cycle and you don't have to push it back another year again. And then again, you've used this time to show admissions committee that, hey, I recognize that my application was probably lacking due to my MCAT or my grades. I took my gap year time and I enrolled in a master's program. I enrolled in post-baccalaureate program. I was able to, get above a 3.5 or whatever. And this is me showing you that I'm able to handle the academic rigor of a graduate program or your medical program. And I can't make any guarantees, but I'm pretty sure if you do this and you do well, you will start to get interview invites. I know personal people who have done this and it has worked for them. Literally one of my siblings. And I know friends as well. And you can even go online, SDN, Reddit. I don't recommend, getting sucked into those things, but just read a few forums and you can see that that's helped a lot of people, especially the ones with linkage programs where it guarantees you an acceptance or guarantees you a foot in the door. So that's all I really have for you today. I didn't want this to be too long. I'm even looking at the time, it's longer than I wanted it to be, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick video on what you should be doing during your cycle when you haven't really heard much back. Like if you've gotten interviews and acceptances, obviously this is, a waste of time for you, I suppose, unless you really don't like the school that you got into, but I imagine you weren't applying to schools that you didn't want to go to. So this was just a quick video for my peoples who haven't heard anything or have gotten some rejections and really don't know what to do next and kind of don't want to be a sitting duck because, there's only so much you can change for your next application, being probably just your MCAT and your answers to your application questions. So this will give you something to do during your gap year, another thing that you can add to your application, and also gives you more of an advantage in terms of, academia. And again, as I keep reiterating, shows admissions committee personnel that you are able to handle the rigor of a of a graduate program, their medical program. So I hope this video made sense, and I hope it gave you guys some hope and some next step advice to, get your ground moving. Like, someone who's really into medicine and who really wants to go into medical school will do whatever it takes. And sometimes, unfortunately, this is something you have to do. Sometimes it's not just easy as just applying 1 cycle, applying 2 cycles, and getting in. If you've applied once or twice and you find that you're still not getting in, and your stats are good, then it means that, your stats aren't good, that you need to do something else in order to, enhance your application. So this is what you should be doing. So good luck to everybody. As always, hit me up in the comment section if you have questions. If you want programs, a list of programs that I spoke of, with Postbac ones that have linkage programs or bridge programs, or even if you need some list of programs for masters, definitely hit me up in the comments. Maybe shoot me your email or something, and I'll definitely be happy to send you a couple, and we can get going from there. So have a great day, guys. I hope you all do well. I hope this cycle was good to you, and if it wasn't good in certain terms, know that it'll get better once you enhance your application doing these things that I spoke to you guys about. All right, talk to you later.